So today we will be asking some questions from both of you. I wrote them
Oh.
down actually.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, and there are gonna be some questions about Odin's Kun 5, obviously. That is practically why you are here, since you're the second and third people in DI to get Odin's Skin 5, which is a great achievement in my opinion. And I
Soon
think
one of us gonna be the first to get OK6, but don't quote me on that.
Okay, well, let's see if that gets ever released. It would be interesting to see the race, actually. Who's gonna be first? Is it gonna be Uns? Maybe Unseelie will get that. You never know. Alright, so let me open my questions and we can start. Alright, so question number 1. Since there isn't really many uses for Odin's Skin 5 yet, why did you actually go for it?
I'll start, I guess. So, at first, okay, I'm not gonna name names, but we were sitting in like the general chat of the Discord server, and I was busy talking, and there was the whole like, oh, my division is the best division, and of course I was like contributing because gotta have that division morale. So we were talking, and then another commander came in and like, what's the word? He dared me. Like we had a wager, and we were like, okay, to prove who has the best division, I say with quotation marks, whoever gets their OK5 first wins. And that's why I got
and we see
it.
how that ended.
Yeah. Only one of us got the OK5.
Okay, Quad, and why did you go for OK5?
I did not want Nevvie to flex on me, to be honest.
I mean, I still can.
Yeah, but not as hard.
I mean, you still got it first, so Nevvie has the rights to flex some sort of.
Yeah, but it's not like as hard.
Yeah, it's not as hard
hard.
since you have hit it yourself as well, and you was and you were the third, so that's quite an achievement in its own. Out of 3,000 people that are over 3,000 people that are currently in DI, you two are the second and third people to get that. So that's quite.
I mean, I don't expect us to be like this special for a long time. I think now that we've kind of proven that it can be done, people are going to try and people are going to succeed. So it's just a matter of time to see who gets it next, in my opinion.
That is fair enough, yes, actually, but you will still be known as the second and third people to get that.
Yeah. That's super pog.
Yeah, it's like the second person. That's crazy. And if Odinkin 6 gets released ever, for some sort of reason, that would be amazing to see someone maybe hit Odinskin 6 first, and, you know, the bragging rights and everything. Okay, let's hop on to question number 2. What were your mistakes, and what would you do different if you had to go for Odinskin 5 again?
Mistakes? I don't really know if I made many mistakes. Something that I would tell myself is I stressed a lot, especially in the first 2 days, because I was getting consistently 30 people a day, and I was just pushing for it to be done. But there was no need to rush. I had 5 days, there was no need for me to get my OK5 in 3 days. So I think maybe to lessen the stress on myself, if I were to go for it again, I would say, okay, take a break and
Spread
understand.
it more evenly. Okay.
Yeah. So don't leave it on the line where it's like, okay, if you don't get 20 recruits in the last day, you don't get it. But it's more like, if you've gotten 30 people in one day, you can like take a break. There's no need to keep recruiting because you're already like good to go in that sense.
Fair point. And Quad, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I didn't like really stress it out, so that's why I had to get a lot of people on the last day. So I probably would do that differently. Also, it probably would have been better if I would have started after getting up and not in the middle of the night. But yeah.
All right. And if there were okay, that question is kind of answered, but I'm gonna ask it again. If there would ever be an Odinskin 6, would you ever go for it?
100% yes. I already have it planned. It's just gonna be the race to see who gets it first if it gets released. To be honest,
I kind of want to see that actually. I don't want to see the race itself. Who's gonna be the first one? Okay, and then the second question is, what would you recommend for the people who would go for a high oak Odin skin? Not particularly 5, just a high one, like 4 or 5.
Don't lose sleep. There is, I think, no reason to stay up way late into the night and recruit, because I mean, it does recruit people of the opposite time zone. So, like, if you're in NA and you recruit late into the night, you'll be recruiting EUS people, for example. But I mean, it doesn't make a difference compared to whether or not you stay up late and recruit or whether or not you wake up early, because there's still that 8 hours or 9 hours or however long you sleep that you're missing out on. So I understand, the need to stay up late and stay up late at night and recruit, but I mean, logically, there's no point losing sleep over it.
Yeah, and Quad, do you have any recommendations for people, maybe?
I mean, Nevvie pretty much said everything.
Okay, so
Oh.
Nevvie is gonna be the talkative one, and Quad is just gonna be answering the questions.
I'm sorry.
No, that's actually good. We can go into discussions and everything. It's we can go pretty in depth in this actually, since we don't have too
Oh.
many questions left. Actually,
Okay.
I wasn't very original. What should people make sure of before going for a high Odin skin?
I think one of the most obvious things is get your resources, please. I didn't do this beforehand, and I think it was only lucky that I had recently found one of the best recruiting resources, in my opinion. But if you're going to do your Odin skin, like a high one, at least know where you're going to go and say, okay, this resource is good, but it's not that plentiful, so I can't rely just on this resource. Because if you only rely on one unreliable resource, then I mean, chances are you won't get your Odin skin. So
Yeah, fair enough. Quad, do you have anything to add, maybe?
I
Since
mean, it
you've
probably
been
would
pretty
be
quiet.
better. It probably would be better if you have some recruiting experience as well, so
yeah.
you can respond to people. Yeah.
So on Initiate who just joined the I, you have pretty low chances on getting Odin skin 5 first try. Is that what you're trying to imply?
No, I mean, it's pretty unlikely if someone joins and has no experience in recruiting that he will just smash it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
fair
remember
enough.
when I first joined, in order to become a commander, I had to get my Odin skin too. And I remember the absolute stress that it was, because I took like 4 days to recruit 12 people. And back then, it was such a huge achievement. But if I was to try and get my Odin skin 5, I wouldn't be able to, because I mean, I struggled to get 12 people in 4 days. Now imagine having to get almost double 12 people in 1 day. So the experience and like the learning curve that recruiting is, the more that you learn, the easier it becomes, I think.
I remember my first experience with Odin skin 2 as well. Once I joined DI, my commander actually asked me if I would like to be a team leader. And I was like, yeah, sure. He promoted me, and he told me to get Odin skin 2, so that was recruit 12 people in 5 days. And I thought that once I started, I didn't know when the timer starts. So once I agreed, I thought then is the timer when it starts. So I had
no.
I had 2 terrible days with it. I messaged people, they either blocked me because they thought it's some sort of scam or virus
Scam.
link,
Yeah.
and or they just kind of weren't interested, or they'd never sent their applications even if they were quote unquote interested. So on my 3rd day, as I thought it was, I actually got 11 people in like 8 hours.
Oh.
Since I had like all day, but I was doing voice recruiting, and that was the worst thing ever. Since I felt dead after that.
I can understand.
All right. So next question is, what help did you get while doing your Odin skin, if you did get any help?
So when it came to actual recruiting, I did everything by myself, of course. You know, not gonna come out here and be like, yeah, I got help. No.
Yeah, I got
So
helped by Jackal.
no, so the kind of help that I got was a lot of like mental support. I want to say, especially from Head, because I would like consistently check up with Head and Suki and be like, okay, I'm at like 12 today. I just need at least 8 more, you know, and they were constantly there like cheering me on and like encouraging me to do it. And I think it would have been a lot more stressful if I hadn't had that. So, because recruiting is very draining and very tiring because you know you're talking to constantly like so many people every day. Sometimes I was talking to like 7 people at once, and just doing that for like hours straight was a lot of work. So without that, I think I would have struggled a bit more than what I did to get it.
All right, good guy Head. And
It's
Quad.
amazing. And Suki.
Okay, well, shoutouts to you guys. Head
Oh.
actually recruited me as well, so that's pretty epic.
There we
But
go.
the joke was, I was like in Dream Team. I checked into that website and I saw this message that was from a few months ago. So I was like, oh shit, I probably missed out. And I messaged him on Discord, and it seems like okay. And Quad, what was what help did you get?
I mean, I never got really help any because I made my Odin skin kind of sneaky, so like I didn't let many people know of it. So I basically was, yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't know until I saw a message in Opium Den talking that you hit it. I actually didn't know personally.
Yeah.
All right.
COD kept it very quiet.
Okay, next question is, what technique of recruiting did you use?
Okay, so right off the bat, I did not voice recruit. That would have taken a very long time, and I think I I left it so that only the people who asked if they could voice, like if they could do it in a voice channel with me, I helped those people in voice. Otherwise, I did everything over text, and I made my recruiting method in such a way that it was basely mainly based, I can't speak, mainly based off of efficiency. Because I know a lot of people, especially those who don't have to recruit so much, like try to build relationships and stuff with the people they're trying to recruit first before trying to recruit them. But I mean, that would have been unrealistic to go for if you were trying to get Odin's 5. So yeah, it was basically just efficiency and saving as much time as possible so you can talk to as many people as possible.
Fair enough. Voice recruiting is actually takes longer, and is on some point it is harder, but it's not as time efficient as you said. Okay,
Yeah.
Quad, and what recruiting technique did you use?
I mean, I basically just PM'd loads of people and then waited for them to add me.
All right, that was the obvious answer. I mean, of course you did text recruiting. Who would use voice recruiting in a thing that you have not as much time compared, and you have to get like what 100 people in one day, right? No, 5 days. I mean.
Yeah, 100 people in 5 days, which is 20 people every day, basically.
Yeah, and that's pretty crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so next, and actually the last question that I've wrote down here is, did you keep track? Of course you did actually, but what was your reaction once you hit the required amount of recruits?
Okay, so this is actually a funny, well, not a funny story, but it was really nice. So on that last day, on my third, because I got my Odin's 5 in 3 days. So on that third day, I literally had a countdown, and I was like, I had a list that I was just ticking off, and every time I got a recruit, I would make another tick until I was like, yes, finally, I have 100 applications in, and like immediately, I just messaged Head and Suki, and I was like, it's done, I'm finished. And then they made a voice channel, and we like celebrated at 2:30 in the morning. Then I got my Odin's 5, but I had to wait like 5 hours for the tokens to convert. So yeah, keeping track was really fun, I want to say, because I did not expect to get as many people in one day as I did. So being able to go into the token logs and see like 36 people in one day was crazy. And I just looked at that and it did kind of make me feel better because I knew that, oh, if I have a day where I mess up or it's a bad and slow day of recruiting, I can still like relax because I've got like 16 people extra, so it can kind of make up for it. Not that I needed it, but it was a nice reassurance.
The thing is, the craziest thing probably, the person who actually had to distribute the tokens.
Oh, the
The
LM
face!
was
Imagine the
amazing.
face! Imagine seeing 36 people in one day by this one random person.
All them
imagine.
literally were amazing. I am really, really grateful for the work that they did.
Alright, Quad, and how did you keep track of everything?
I mean, I didn't really keep track. I think Nevvie kept more track of my recruits than I did
Yeah, I
myself.
kept counting for him.
Well,
Eventually, I was like, Cod, you're done. And he's like, am I really? And I was like, yeah, what do you mean?
that's friendly. Okay, that's pretty nice. And what were your reaction, Quad, once you hit the amount?
I mean, I was very relieved because it has been quite some stress because I wasn't like Nevvie and recruited like 30 people a day. Like everything for me was like on the last day. Yeah. So I was pretty relieved once I finally hit it.
Alright, that's pretty cool. Well, we finished with our questions, so we don't have actually anything to talk about, maybe, but maybe you have something to tell from your part. Maybe you want to share your experience with something, or just talk about anything regarding
I think
Odin Skin.
one of the key essential parts that it kind of comes hand in hand in recruiting, but since you're on the topic of Odin Skin, I think it should be spoken. Cod and I am like 100% sure have gone through over like 30 people who have blocked us or denied us, rejected us, been like, no, thank you, not interested, and then they block you. And I can understand how, especially being blocked, can be mentally like, irritating. Well, not irritating, but it can set you
Demotivating.
back. Yeah, demotivating. Because, you like take it personally or something. And something I want to say is just don't take it personally. It's not an attack against you, even if they like, because people say some pretty mean things. So even if they say something like that, just realize and understand that it's nothing against you as a person. And if anything, it saved you time because you could have spent like an hour trying to convince that person to join Damage Inc. And then they turn around and they're like, no, sorry, not interested after that 1 hour. But now it's been like 5 minutes and you can just move on to the next person and try again.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, and Quad, did you have anything to say or add?
Not really.
Okay, so I think we should be done. Any last words? Any like special thank yous from you personally? And maybe they will see this actually. And if they're like high ranks, probably they will see it actually, since they will be interested in this. Hopefully.
Uh, I think I should just say thank you to like everybody who was there for me. So I think that was like my division staff team, my chain of command, Head and Suki, and even the other commanders in Trident were all just super motivating, and they all believed in me and everything, and it felt really nice. So yeah, I really, really appreciate it.
Alright, Quad, do you have any thank yous?
I want to shout out Hired Guns.
Yes,
Best
Alim. Alim is like I think one of the biggest people we have to thank. They're amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, well, shout outs to everyone who helped you achieve,
Oh,
and you too, who actually achieved it, and the people who helped you achieve it. Shout outs to everyone to who did that, and I think that's gonna be a wrap. Thank you for doing this in-depth conversation,
thank
and
you so much for having us.
No. The thing is, if you would never agree on this, we probably never had this, so it's a benefit.
Pog. Thank you.
Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah. So we're gonna get someone to edit this and
let's go.
and get this shared on to everyone.
Send me the link to the video once it's up on YouTube. I want to.
Of course, I'm gonna share it. Of course, I'm gonna let everyone know.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So thank you for joining us again.
Thank you.
It was fun getting to know everything in depth and what it actually takes to get a high Odin skin. It was an interesting conversation for me, myself, and hopefully for the people who watch this, and maybe this actually will help someone to get a high tier Odin skin. You
That
never
would
know.
be pretty pog. Yeah.
All right.